Welcome to week 2 of the LL Spring Sports Roundtable, brought to you by Substitute Teachers Service. We're going to kind of do a little survey of what's happened so far in the 6 spring sports in the Lancaster-Lebanon League. My name is Mike Gross. I'm hosting. It's just a 2-man operation
For now.
To my right, the great Jeff Reinhardt. And we're going to start with lacrosse.
Yes.
Boys and girls. Again, it's very early.
Yep.
It's a little sketchy what we have, but Rhines, with that as preface,
There you go.
make it happen.
Okay. I will do my best to live up to John Walk's gigantic lacrosse reporter shoes. Bear with me. Okay, let's go girls lacrosse first. You will be very surprised to hear that in Section 1, Manheim Township and Hempfield are both undefeated. Both 3-0 going into the week.
A statement that has usually been true in
Yes.
our lifetimes.
Yes, Township and Hempfield battling it out in Section 1. April 12th, circle the date, Manheim Township at Hempfield. Big match, should be for first place in Section 1. Section 2, LS and E-Town, both off to hot starts. LS 3-0, E-Town 3-0. LS has scored 107 goals. LS has 6 kids already who have 10 or more goals, including Rowan Kimmel. What a start for her. 27 goals and 14 assists. Wow. Filling it up. Finding the back of the net. April 11th, circle it. E-Town at LS. Girls could be for sole position of first place in Section 2. Boys lacrosse. Township and Hempfield at the top in Section 1. That tie could be broken on April 12th when Hempfield goes to Manheim Township and Neffsville. Circle that one. Section 2, hot start for Cocalico. They are alone in first here midweek at 3-0. Garden Spot and LS are both 2-1, chasing the Eagles. Manheim Township has scored a league-leading 77 goals. That's a lot. Hot start for Bennett Parmer, 17 goals and 10 assists. All right, that's a wrap for Lax. Let's talk track and field. What do you got?
I got track and field all over the place. Well, really, I don't have that much, but it's very early. 2 teams that are their boys and girls are both undefeated. McCaskey and Ephrata, who you
Ephrata.
might not have expected. Okay. Yeah, they actually have 4 dual meets in, and they're 4-0 on both the boys and girls side. These are teams that, particularly in McCaskey's case, they have depth of sprinters on both sides. And if in one thing I know about track, I don't know a whole lot, but one thing I know is if you have depth in the sprints, then you have good relay teams.
Oh, yes.
You probably have a good long jumper.
Yes.
You probably have a good, that's the key to winning on a team level in track, and McCaskey in particular has that. Kids like Carlos Medina, Lenny Diaz, they have sub 11-second 100 guys already. That's pretty good. And of course McCaskey, the now infamous, what are the names? Camilla and
Kamaya Myers.
Right, and Isabella Schertzer and Lucy Desan are the top-ranked 400 relay, 1600 relay team in America. And so again, you can see how that would have a ripple effect throughout, multiple events. So most of the individual athletes that we're kind of expecting to contend at the district level and the state level are working their way in on purpose. That's how you do it in track. So, for example, Katie Irvine of Solanco, who won the state indoor pole vault title with a 13.6 vault. She's at the 12-foot. They're working their way into it. Maddie Nyer has been winning the jumps, but not with blow you away jumps. Other kids in this area, a kid named Noah Gunderson from Anvil Cleone in the high jump, really a factor probably in AA and going forward in district and state. Nice. Kate Becker of Warwick also in the high jump. We have a lot of jumpers. The one kid that I want to mention who's new is this Cadell Howard, a girl from Cedar Crest, freshman, who won the 400 and in the state indoor meet, 55:43, which is a crazy good time. She's and the first sort of big invitational of the year is the Bruce Dallas Invitational at Cumberland Valley. She won the 400 in that. Wow. And also their 4x800 relay team won the Bruce Cedar Crest, with her kind of leading the way there. So she is already qualified for the Penn Relays in multiple events.
Wow, freshman.
Yeah, this is a kid that really we might want to watch going forward this year and down the road, because again, she is only a freshman. That's where we are in track. I mean, there's been a lot of there's a lot of stuff to come, and again, because of the weather and just the nature of sort of building, we're not seeing what we're going to see from teams and individuals yet.
True. Okay, thanks for the track wrap. Let's go tennis. Boys tennis. Second weekend of section play. Cedar Crest has kind of been the talk of Section 1. They're undefeated, 3-0, 6-0, and the Falcons last week beat Dallastown in a non-league match. Dallastown was the reigning District 3 champ, and they went to the state finals last year, where they lost, but that was their only loss the whole spring. So, good non-league win for Cedar Crest. Hempfield also undefeated, 2-0, chasing the Falcons. April 17th.
Those two get after it.
Hempfield at Crest. Should be good. Section 2, tied at the top here midweek. Cocalico 2-0, LS 2-0. That could be snapped on April 19th. Cocalico at LS in Section 2. Section 3, Lancaster Country Day. We knew coming in that they were going to be really good with, Abadir at the top and Bloom, and they got the transfer kid in from Township. Country Day, 3-0 in the section, 7-0 overall. Anvil chasing, they're 2-0. Country Day also beat Dallastown in a non-league match. Circle this one. This is interesting. April 14th, Hempfield at Lancaster Country Day in a non-league match. That's really interesting. Country Day could be challenged in that one, so circle that one for sure. And tennis playoffs always start so early, probably like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's like golf in the fall. They start way before everybody else.
Yes, they do.
Because how do you practice tennis? Well, you play tennis, so we may as well play tennis.
Exactly.
That's how it is.
There you go. Fun races, good races, and keep an eye on this Country Day team. Did they go state finals last spring, I believe? So we'll see if they can make another deep trip. What do you got?
I'm going to go softball. Again, it's very early. Some teams have hardly played any games.
Yeah.
It's not taken shape yet, but a couple of teams that have been very impressive so far. Solanco is 5-0 in Section 2, and they beat Penn Manor in a non-league game, 8-6. Penn Manor doesn't seem to maybe have quite the run prevention element of it, and Solanco has outscored their opponents 58-10. 58 runs in 5 games. That's not bad. That's not bad. So they've been very, very solid. Section 1, Warwick is 3-0. Again, they've been giving up some runs and scoring some runs. They've won some slugfest. Their run differential 29-25, which is that's a lot of runs. When we had Dave Byrne in here to talk about softball earlier, he mentioned that Northern Lebanon moving down to Section 4. They're going to dominate Section 4. Well, they lost a slugfest to Manheim Township, 14-11. So their pitching, again, has not been quite what you would want if you're projecting ahead. I forgot to mention, that Section 2 race, there's a lot of teams in there, but like LS, who we think of as the superpower, they're 1-3. They're struggling a little bit, and they're not out of it by any means. E-Town is a pretty good team. That Section 2, it seems like in a lot of sports, Section 2 is a deep horse race. And
all
for some reason,
5As usually.
Whatever that's about.
Very competitive.
Now, the other team, other than Solanco, the other team that I think we should mention is Donegal is 3-0.
There you go.
Run differential 42-10. Kara Biesiger is the pitcher, a returning pitcher who threw some great games last year, and so they're a team that I think you can look at and say, well, they at least have the pitching and have proven they can score runs so far. Again, very early. That's where we are in softball.
Okay, I got volleyball.
Volley.
Let's serve in volley. Upset City, Conestoga Valley, tip of the cap. Buckskins on Tuesday night beat Hempfield, mighty Hempfield, 3-2. So CV kind of throwing a monkey wrench already in the section race. Warwick is now alone in first place in Section 1. Let's mention Carson Hoover, 22 kills for CV against Hempfield, and Drew Hallstrand, 20 digs and 41 assists. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a busy boy right there on the court. In the back row, 20 digs, 41 assists. Big night. So CV got the first kind of head turner, wow kind of moment of the season, knocking off Hempfield. Again, Warwick alone in first place. Hempfield and CV are 2-1. Big match alert Thursday night. So Hempfield loses Tuesday, and now on Thursday they got to go to Warwick. Tricky match for Hempfield. If they lose, they're 2 back. Warwick trying to stay alone in first. They shared the Section 1 title last year, and Warwick beat Hempfield in the LL final. This will be their first section meeting this year, and all of a sudden, that's a huge game for Hempfield because they're looking up at Warwick, so that'll be fun. I will be there on Thursday night. That'll be a great match. Section 2, Manheim Central cruising. They're playing really well. 3-0. Garden Spot 2-0 right there. E-Town, they're 2-1. Hanging with the lead pack. They had a good win on Tuesday. I got to see the Bears beat Ephrata 3-2. Good match over at Ephrata. April 18th, Garden Spot at Manheim Central, which has become a really good rivalry here. They met in districts last year.
Yeah, the Spot is good in volleyball.
Very good.
Yeah.
Lastly, state rankings. Manheim Central's number 3 in the state in 2A. That's pretty good.
Manheim Central's good in a lot of sports. Right?
They are. They have a lot of good kids coming through
really
right now, no doubt about it. And Warwick in AAA is number 9. Good volleyball so far. It's nice. It's fun getting back out Tuesday, Thursday, and watching some volleyball. Thursday, I'll see you at Hempfield at Warwick.
I saved baseball for last because I have a little bit of an idea what I'm talking about.
Good.
Baseball, unlike the other 2 sports. This is how. Again, it's very early, but it seems like we're a little further in baseball than in softball and track. I'll give you an example of how goofy it's been so far. Garden Spot lost their league opener to Manheim Central 16-0.
Oh my!
Their previous 2 games, that game and the previous one, they lost by a combined total of 30-1.
Oh my!
Last night they played Pequay Valley in a non-league game. Pequay Valley is off to a 4-0, very impressive start against good competition. Garden Spot scores 6 in the first and beats them 10-4.
How about that?
I mean, it's just, there's been a lot of that. Warwick starts off 0-3 and then thumps Manheim Township in their. There's been a lot of that kind of stuff. But a couple of teams that have been very, very solid so far. Penn Manor is 5-0.
Wow.
Nobody else is 5-0, and only a 38-8 run differential.
Wow.
2 pitching depth, I think, for them. Yeah. Daniel Santana and Grant Fry, 2 names there that have been pretty consistent on the mound for the Comets. Hempfield in Section 1 is 3-1. Their only loss is to Governor Mifflin, which everybody in District 3 thinks they're going to be one of the best teams around. And that's their only loss. And again, pitching depth. A kid named Hunter Williams, a kid named Logan Harrelson. 2 really solid pitchers. They use 2-3 pitchers every game. He goes to the bullpen with Jeremy Morrison, their coach. And also, we love catchers.
Oh yes.
Josh Toole going to Coastal Carolina,
nice.
A stud. He's one of the best. In Section 2, the last couple years, LS and Ephrata, particularly last year, LS and Ephrata. LS has actually beaten Ephrata 6 times in a row now.
For real.
Which is weird. And that really decided Section 2. Those games decided Section 2 last year, and they beat them again on Monday night. So again, the 6th straight time. Now, this is a good place to put in here that all of these teams are going to play each other 3 times. These section rivals are going to play each other 3 times. So those 3 games will decide the section races. I'm going to go to one of those games tonight, which Donegal and Manheim Central at Donegal tonight, Wednesday. That's in Section 3. Central had lost a couple in a row before thumping Garden Spot 16-0, as I said earlier, and but Central's going to be there, and Donegal's been very solid in 3. Pequay Valley in Section 4 has been rolling until that goofy Garden Spot game. Catholic only has 3 games, but they won 2 in a row after losing their opener. They've been very solid too. So you know, I think it's a little bit less of a hierarchy than there was last year. But last year we had teams that won state championships or came close. So you know,
exactly. No hitter last week.
A couple guys I want to mention. Yeah, thank you, Ryan. One is a hitter, Nathan Wingenroth of Lancaster Catholic. A position player because he's also an excellent center fielder. He's hitting like 700.
Oh my.
Doubles, triples, stolen bases, runs scored, walks. He's going to Elon College, Division I. He's going to be a Division I baseball player. He's maybe, and Catholic has a couple of guys that have really been raking so far, but we know about Wingenroth, and he's really one of the best players in the league. And then the pitcher, as you suggested, Ryan, Braden Herr of Solanco, threw a complete game no-hitter on Monday in the section opener against E-Town, a team that had been averaging 8 runs a game, a team that had a pretty good lineup, I think. 9 strikeouts, 1 walk. E-Town only had 2 base runners. They did have an error and the walk. Herr has 17 strikeouts in 12 innings. He's been very, very good. I mean, maybe we don't have the aces that we did this year, but it looks like Braden Herr, that we did last year, but it looks like Braden Herr maybe is going to be that guy. So again, Central with Donegal tonight, the first of 3, and I don't know if they're going to be decisive because there's other teams in the mix in these section races now that maybe we didn't anticipate.
The most impressive stat you just rattled off, and you rattled off a lot of them. Penn Manor's given up 8 runs in 5 games.
Yeah.
That's some pitch. That's impressive. That's
and
really good.
Using multiple pitchers. It's
really
not
good.
one guy dominating the. Penn Manor looks pretty good, and their schedule has been solid.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Ryan,
All right.
what do you got? Anything else?
Did we mention Maddie Nyer last week? Maddie Nyer's gone to Penn for track.
Yep.
Congrats to her. We'll be out and about scouring here. It's there's a lot of spring sports to cover.
Yeah, we're starting to get into it, and again, the league races are when we start to. It starts to make sense. So never let it be known that we didn't make sense.
Exactly.
All right.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you, Ryan.
I think we
Thank
crammed
you
it
for
all
hanging in there with the respiratory system.
Oh.
And this has been the LL Spring Sports Roundtable, brought to you by Substitute Teacher Service. Mike Gross, the ailing but game Jeff Reinhardt. See you later.